Hello, everybody. This is PEEYUSH with another nature story. So, this story is called Pagal Chidiya, which means the crazy bird or the mad bird. Quite a crazy title, isn't it? Let's hear. It was August. I was in Ladakh. Being an Enthu birder, I was quite excited. Ladakh is a very special place. Situated in the Trans Himalaya, it's a rare mix of high altitude and cold desert. Some of the birds you see there are very similar to the ones you see in the desert of the Thar. Just that Ladakh is a good 3,000 to 5,000 meters higher. Also, a number of migratory birds that we see in the plains every winter either pass through Ladakh on their way south or actually breed in Ladakh and come down as the winter set in. However, there was one particular bird that I was specifically wanting to see, the horned lark. I had seen a picture of the bird. It had a look of an annoyed royal, standing upright on its long straight legs with sharp thorns like horns made of fine feathers jutting out on either side of its head like a twirled moustache. It looked like quite the bird to see. On my third day in Ladakh, the gentle, full of laughter Karmale, lay is a suffix used as a mark of respect in Ladakhi, of the Nature Conservation Foundation, took me to his home village of Rumse on the Leh Manali highway. His daughter ran a small roadside food store where travelers and truckers alike stopped. While hanging out there, I noticed a little bird on the roadside, looking for something amongst the sand. Is it a hornlark? I asked excitedly. My dream bird was here, right in front of me. I jumped with excitement, pulled out my camera, and walked briskly, hoping to take some shots without disturbing the bird. But disturb I did, and in one swift move, my dream bird flew over the roadside edge onto the other side and disappeared. Seeing my disappointment, Karmale, the monk that he was, reassured me, it is very common, Piyushle. It will come back. I suspect it feeds on the grains that fall off the trucks that park here. I was a bit disappointed. The bird's horns were not visible. I hadn't even had a decent look, and it was already gone. But Karmale was right. We saw them quite a bit at the roadside as we took walks in the wilderness around the village. It was an outright funny sort of bird, a bit of a busybody running around, standing erect on rocks, its horns catching the breeze, not really too bothered about human presence, and scooting off when it felt like. I even managed to get a few decent shots. We got back to Leh after a couple of days. Abhijit and Deepshikha, who had joined the team from Spiti, another high altitude cold desert area in the Trans Himalaya in Himachal Pradesh, quite similar to Ladakh, but at some distance. I was telling them about my joys with the hornlark, and Abhijit interjected saying that this bird is called Ripcha Kolto, meaning the crazy bird in Spitian. What? Why was my royal horned lark called the crazy bird? I asked Abhijit. And Abhijit told me something very interesting. The bird showed a capacity to build its nest almost anywhere, on compound walls, next to pathways, on open ground, not a bother in the world. It seemed to choose its nest location such that everybody in this world could enjoy seeing its young ones growing up. Though, unfortunately, with a long list of predators, it often loses its young ones. No wonder the Scythians called it the crazy one. This left me thinking. Humans have inhabited this land for a few thousand years. Maybe the bird's habits have evolved over a period of time to live with humans and without fear of humans. The bird is quite common at this altitude. It clearly seems to be doing well. So, though it perhaps loses a large number of its young ones to predators, there seem to be a large number of them that survived. I want to see a crazy nest. Yes, a nest of the crazy bird, I told Abhijit. He laughed at me and said, "This is not the breeding season, and I don't even know whether the birds that are crazy in Spiti maintain the same crazy behavior in Ladakh." All of us had a good laugh at this. I was soon in the last leg of my trip. With Dorjele, an old friend of Karmale, we headed to the high altitude lake of Sokar. Quite a beautiful landscape. It was cold and windy, and there seemed chances of rain. It was rich in bird life and wildlife. As we walked, I chanced upon a perfect circular depression in the earth. Lined with dry grass, it seemed very unusual, as if a perfect circular depression made with a machine. Could it be the nest of the crazy one? I asked Dorjele. He was quite an expert on birds, I realized. Yes, it is an abandoned nest of the horned lark, Dorjele told me. I was super excited. I took a few pictures for record so that I could confirm with Abhijit and others. What a beautiful nest the crazy one made. Perfect circular depression of a nest, neat and small. My respect for the horned lark only increased. In Ladakhi, the bird is called Chipagut or Up Shakir. I asked around, including Karmale and some other Ladakhi friends. However, I was not able to get a translation of the same from my Ladakhi friends. In horned larks, the female is of a duller color and does not have the horns of the male. Ground nesting birds, though well camouflaged, are typically at risk to rising dog populations and other disturbances like increased movement of sheep in the landscape. However, I must end the story by saying that at least to me, it seemed that the horned lark, that my horned lark, at least in Ladakh, was rather a royal bird and not the crazy pagal chidiya of Spiti. Well, I hope you all liked this story. Um, Maybe you could think of some crazy behavior that you've seen amongst the birds. There are lots of them around you. They could be crows, sparrows, pigeons, any bird that you see commonly, and a bit of a crazy behavior by them. That would be some interesting story to share. Thank you so much. Goodbye.